Welcome to the TG System tutorial, your guide to unlocking professional-level trading capabilities on MetaTrader. Whether you're a beginner or an experienced retail trader, the TG System is here to transform your trading approach by providing advanced tools and insights once available only on professional platforms. The TG System is more than just a trading strategy, it's a comprehensive suite of features designed to help you analyze market trends, manage risk effectively, and execute trades with precision. By leveraging harmonic levels, currency performances, and real-time data, the TG System empowers you to make informed decisions and adapt swiftly to market changes. In this tutorial, we'll walk you through the core components of the TG System, showing you how to set it up on MetaTrader, interpret its signals, and use it to enhance your trading strategy. Our step-by-step guide will demonstrate how you can use the TG System to boost your confidence, improve your trading consistency, and increase your potential for profitability. Let's get started on your journey to trading like a professional. We're going to start by reviewing all the components of the TG System trading profile. Target Geometry Dashboard is a panel that performs two functions. It allows the management of market navigation and returns the directional analysis of the instruments of the customized watch list, based on the time horizon of the selected grid. The time horizon of the dashboard and the indicator must always coincide. Navigation is done simply by clicking on the symbols. The click changes the graph of all the profile windows. The analysis is returned through the use of color. The green symbols present a price action above the long level of the reference grid. The red symbols present a price action below the short level of the reference grid. The gray symbols instead present a price action within the no trade area. These symbols do not show a directional trend, therefore in most cases, they are the ones to be discarded from an operational perspective. The green symbols are those to monitor for opening long positions. The red symbols are those to monitor positions. Another analytical function carried out by the dashboard consists in defining the risk profile of the market, based on the trend of the watch list symbols, considered in an aggregate manner, according to the asset class to which they belong. Speculative symbols are AUD, NZD, CAD, GBP, Euro, indices, cryptocurrencies, etc. The defensive symbols are USD, CHF, JPY, gold, and silver. When speculative symbols gain traction at the same time, the market's risk profile is risk-on. In these conditions, it is usually appropriate to try to open trend-following positions on risk instruments, indices, and currency pairs that cross a speculative and a defensive currency. Examples of trades consistent with the market risk-on profile could be long Nasdaq and long AUD/USD, or long Euro/USD. When instead, defensive symbols gain ground at the same time, the risk profile of the market is risk-off. In these conditions, it is usually appropriate to try to open trend-following positions on defensive instruments, USD, CHF, JPY, gold, and silver. Examples of trades consistent with this market's risk profile could be short Nasdaq, short Euro/USD, long gold, or even long USD CAD. These trading examples are defined based on typical market correlations. It is important to keep in mind that correlations change from time to time for specific reasons. The circumstance must be noted and kept in mind from an operational perspective. Moving on to TG System Operational Grid, I will now introduce to you the Target Geometry Indicator. Target Geometry is a new generation indicator that exploits the geometric nature of the markets to provide high statistical probability levels. The indicator creates a very reliable operational grid that optimizes entry points, targets, and aspects of the overall position management. The levels are derived from Fibonacci studies and plotted according to the selected time horizon, which can be customized from the settings. The trader can set the indicator from the scalping to the annual level. Based on the choice, the trader is going to have different levels available for different styles of trading. The operational grid appears immediately after the opening of the selected time horizon. The scalping grid starts from the daily open and, of course, changes every day. The intraday grid starts from the weekly open and, naturally, changes at the beginning of the week. The multi-day grid forms in correspondence with the monthly open. The quarterly begins at the trimester's open. The semi-annual grid starts with the semester open and, lastly, the annual one appears at the yearly open. The reference time frame has to be selected on the basis of the operational time horizon. The grid subdivides the chart into 3 different areas. The no trade zone is colored gray. The long zone is green, while the short zone is red. Operationally, we mainly look for trend-following setups inside the 2 different directional areas, long and short. The opening level of the selected time horizon is the midline of the no trade zone, while the upper and lower ends of the no trade zone are the long and short entry levels. Above and below the no trade zone, we have the directional areas. The areas are subdivided into successive long and short targets. The targets are calculated through a proprietary Fibonacci study. The instrument is ideal for trend-following positions, but at the same time, as the levels provided often operate as supports and resistances, it can also come to the aid of the swing/contrarian trader. Target geometry's levels can be used not only to place entries and exits but also to define the overall position management in terms of stop-loss placement, manual trailing stop strategies, position splitting, anti-martingale and martingale. In closing, we can say that target geometry is a truly innovative and versatile indicator, definitely one of the best our group has ever created, customizable, easy to use, effective on multiple time horizons and adaptable to all styles of trading. Let's now move on to Power Index FX Plus. Power Index FX Plus is a tool for monitoring the performance of the Forex market. It gives you the opportunity to always have a complete overview of the balance of power between the main currencies and, indirectly, also the definition of the market risk profile. As previously mentioned, in fact, when the speculative currencies, AUD, NZD, CAD, GBP and Euro are positive, together with the indices, which you can monitor with Target Geometry Dashboard, the market is risk-on. When the defensive currencies, USD, CHF and JPY, are positive, on the contrary, and the indices, the market is risk-off. This information, available with a simple look at the instruments, puts you in the position of being able to define which trades to carry out and which not to, and how to operationally interpret the market conditions that objectively emerge from the performance of the different asset classes. In a risk-on environment, I could buy speculative versus defensive currencies, or you could buy indices or cryptos. In a risk-off environment, you can instead buy defensive currencies against speculative currencies, or sell indices and cryptocurrencies. Power Index FX Plus allows you to monitor 8 currency baskets, containing 7 pairs in each basket. For each basket, it provides the aggregate percentage performance of the reference currency, the algebraic sum of the percentage changes of all the pairs that belong to the basket. This data, available for all time frames simply by clicking on the black button of the indicator, expresses the relative strength of each currency and guides your operational approach to the currency market. Trading Forex without this information available is almost impossible. Never trade a currency pair without knowing how the 2 currencies that compose it move in general. For example, for the Euro-USD pair to have the potential to go up, you need a strong Euro and a weak USD, against all the other counterparts. In fact, if the balance of power between the 2 currencies is not skewed in favor of one in particular, the net result will be a candlestick with a very small real body, on any time horizon. In other words, it makes no sense to operate on a currency pair if there's no clear imbalance in the relative strength of the 2 currencies involved. Power Index FX Plus is precisely the instrument that allows you to spot these imbalances, and to take advantage of them, for your trend-following trades. At this point, you might be wondering, how do you actually execute the trend-following trades? Well, you simply buy strong currencies against weak ones. You wait for the pair to enter a directional area, and then you use the target geometry levels to execute market entries and exits. For the contrarian entries, on the other hand, you wait for the imbalance between 2 currencies to start easing. Namely, you wait for easing to manifest itself around the most significant target levels, which we will examine shortly. To actually notice the easing of the imbalance, you can simply verify that the weak currency is gaining ground on the lower time frames. In fact, when our weak currency of the day starts recovering ground against all its counterparts, that usually means that a proper correction should be in play, and that opens up the opportunity for a contrarian trade. Now, before we actually move to the operational setups, I present to you Info Panel Market. Info Panel Market is a support panel that provides valuable information on the observed instrument and, when present, on our outstanding trades. Starting from the left, the panel returns the swap values set by the broker or its liquidity provider for long and short positions. It relays the trend of the price action on all time frames, from the minute to the monthly, through the use of color. The empty, red and green squares indicate, respectively, green and red candles on the reference time frame. The filled squares, on the other hand, indicate a price action above the previous high, if the square is entirely colored green, and below the previous low if the square is entirely colored red. The indicator further highlights the value of the current spread in real time, the time and date of the server, the net change of the daily, weekly and monthly time frames, which identifies the short-term trend of the financial instrument. And then, it goes on to show the point value of the financial instrument, the number of long and short ticks recorded in the reference candle, and their difference, in the daily range, expressed in pips, from low to high. Lastly, in case there is an open position on the instrument, the indicator relays the leverage used, the lots open for long and short positions, the profits and losses of active, buy and sell positions, the value of the equity, and the reference symbol. Let's now dive into the operational aspect and see what entry setups we have defined for this trading system. Operationally, as stated before, we mainly look for trend-following entries. The first step is to define the time horizon of our trade. In order to do that, we go to the settings of the dashboard and select the grid we're interested in. Suppose we select the multi-day grid, meaning the monthly grid. Well, at this point, we need to do the same with the target geometry indicator. We open the settings, and here we select multi-day as well. Keep in mind that the choice of the reference operational grid depends not only on the time horizon of the trade you're looking for, but also on the amount of time you have available to dedicate to trading. If you're someone who can spend a few hours every day looking at charts, you can definitely use the scalping grid on a regular basis, as it is exclusively designed for daily operations. You can also use all the other grids, at your discretion. But if you're somebody who has a relative amount of time to track the markets, you should definitely skip the scalping grid, and look for setups on the ones that cover higher time horizons. Maybe even the intraday grid, that covers the week, could be too short-term for you, so you might want to start from the multi-day or monthly grid that we're looking at right now. Now that we've set the time horizon, everything's ready. As I showed you, a simple look at the dashboard will tell us which instruments are trending up or down. Based on that, in the reading of the Power Index FX indicator, we select the instrument to trade. If the profile of the market is risk-on, we try to find the trend-following entry pattern on a pair that crosses a strong speculative currency and a weak defensive currency. As an alternative, in this market environment, we could look for a long entry pattern on an index or cryptocurrency. Conversely, if the market profile is risk-off, we try to find the trend-following entry pattern on a pair that crosses a strong defensive currency and a weak speculative one. As an alternative, in this other market environment, we could look for a short entry pattern on an index or cryptocurrency. Now we're ready to actually pattern. The entry pattern of the trend-following trade can be defined as the change of polarity of the resistance or of the support. Let's begin with the long, or bullish setup. When the market breaks the resistance, retests it from above and confirms it as support, we open a long position. Now, let's take a look together at how the change of polarity of a resistance looks like. The market goes above the resistance, the long entry level, and then pulls back on it. namely it retests the surrounding area. If the area, around the entry level, acts as support, we buy. For long positions, the stop-loss order should be placed either below the swing low that's closest to the entry point, or below the short entry level. As the position starts moving in our favor, the success is to decide how to manage the trade. When the market moves above level 2, for example, we could move the stop-loss order to break even. Then, once the trade is protected, we can use the next levels to take profit, partially or entirely. Let's now continue with the short setup. When the market breaks the support, retests it from below, and confirms it as resistance, we open a short position. Now, let's take a look together at how the change of polarity of a support looks like. The market goes below the support, the short entry level, and then pulls back on it, namely it retests the surrounding area. If the area around the entry level acts as resistance, we sell. For short positions, the stop-loss order should be placed either above the swing high that's closest to the entry point, or above the long entry level. As the position starts moving in our favor, the successive targets can be used to decide how to manage the trade. When the market moves below level 2, for example, we could move the stop-loss order to break even. Then, once the trade is protected, we can use the next levels to take profit, partially or entirely. This way of managing the trades will ensure we take profit frequently. Many times it will spare us from getting caught in sudden market shifts, and, overall, it will reflect positively on our win rate. As I mentioned earlier on, the TG system can also be used for counter-trend operations. The contrarian trades present themselves when the market finds resistance or support on the grid's most relevant levels, such as 4, 8, and 12 for example. Around these levels, the more experienced traders could open contrarian positions to try and intercept corrective moves. Of course, the contrarian way is very dangerous, as trending markets sometimes go further than we would expect before correcting, especially if there's a specific reason for that. Because of this, we suggest that only traders who have real experience with this kind of operations should actually implement them. The stop-loss is a must, of course, and for its placement we employ the levels of the grid we are using. So for example, if I decide to go short on a bullish instrument, as it finds 4, my stop-loss order will be placed above level 5. In the opposite direction, if the market is trending down, and I decide to buy it, as it finds support on level 5, my stop-loss will be placed below level 6, and so on. Always remember, no matter the time horizon or style of your trades, it's only the ability to manage the risk that defines the trader who will have shot at having a successful track record, and, in turn, a rewarding career. With that said, now that you know how the entry setups actually work, and you're aware of the importance of risk management, you're ready to start transforming your trading approach with TG System. With the ability to quickly analyze market trends, and with the tools TG System provides to manage risk effectively and execute trades with precision, rest assured you have already embarked on your journey to trading like a professional. That's all for this tutorial. Thanks for watching, and good trading with your new TG System.